Righto, welcome everyone. Look, this particular session is all about how to speed up your development. It's actually something that I've become quite obsessed with. I feel like with Power BI, and maybe you feel the same way, with Power BI, it still takes too long. We can do so much more than we ever could before, but the ability to do things faster is still available to us. Like, there is so many optimizations, there's so much speed that we can bring to our development. And I want to go over, I feel like we're only at the start of this, but I want to go over all the tips that I use myself to try and really speed things up. Okay. Now I actually follow my 4 pillars approach. This is sort of like the framework around development that we've developed internally at Enterprise DNA. And I look at, when you develop things in Power BI, you got to do the query editor, right? You got to do so pillar 1 is loading and transforming data. You got to do make sure your data model is correct, your DAX calculations, and your reports and visualizations. Okay, so those to me are the 4 key aspects of any development inside of Power BI. You need to get all of these right. Okay, so the way I look at it is that how can we speed up each different part of that, each different point, each different pillar in our development workflow, in our development framework. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all of the tips that I use, and I think some of them are going to be quite eye-opening to you. And I use a couple of tools that we've developed internally and that I've found online to really just take out every inefficiency around my development. And I think there's more we can do. I honestly think there's more that we can do, and we are going to innovate, continue to innovate like crazy to actually bring those out to you as soon as we can create those innovations. Okay, my whole plan, or my sort of goal here, is that I believe that you should be able to develop a high quality report, and I literally mean anyone can develop a high quality report within 30 to 40 minutes. That's what I believe. Now, there's a lot of things that need to be created and optimized to enable it to happen, and we're not there yet, but that's what I believe. Power BI development still takes too long, and we want to try and reduce that a crazy amount. Okay, so I'm going to tell you I'm going to go through all my ideas up until now, but I'm going to also tell you about some of the innovations that we're working on and behind the scenes as we go. Okay, so now we're looking here just at a blank Power BI report. Now, what I'm going to do, I actually found some interesting data that I think we'll use in this particular example. It's something a little bit different. This one is all of the different space missions. Okay, all of the different space missions that have been, I think, in the last maybe like 20. Oh no, maybe this is all of them. I'm not sure if this is, I got this data actually from, I'll show you a few cool sites. So first of all, there's this data search from Google. And basically what they've done is they've aggregated up all of the great data sources and data sets that you can, that you can find online. And it's all within one sort of Google search bar. So this is a pretty cool site, so definitely check that out. And what I did was I found the space flights mission status, and it took me to Kaggle, and then I downloaded the data set from here. Okay. But what we have here, let's not get too worried about the data here. This is just going to be what we use as an example. It's more about, okay, what is the workflow? What is our workflow to speed up our development? Now, I think though that there still is going to be a requirement, obviously, to really understand data, understand how to operate data inside of Power BI. So that's not going to go away. And there's a lot of things that I look at quite quickly here, right? Is that, these NAs and numbers in the same column, I know that's going to be an issue. So we need to clean that up in the query editor really fast, okay? There's also, there's just NAs all over the place. There's data missing. So there's cleanups that we need to make there. Now, the way I think about this at this point to really try to speed things up is I think, okay, I'm already thinking about my model. I'm already thinking, how am I going to build my model? And in this particular case, I'm not actually going to do too much to the model. It's just, this is going to be fine. It's just sort of one file, right? It's only got 150 rows. So, there's really not too much we would need to do in the model here. But if it was a factor of dealing with lots of different tables, etc., then we need to think about the model. Even at this point, think about like, how am I going to build my model? What are my lookup tables going to be? What is my fact table going to be? We could create lookup tables here. We could create one of launch sites, and maybe with each launch site we maybe want to have sort of like a launch site code. Vehicle type could have a code. I mean, there's lots of different payload type. These could all be lookup tables if we wanted to add additional information. Maybe I'll show you one example of like what I would do there. Okay, so first of all, we need to obviously go to, and also we're only going to go for about half an hour more here, maybe a little bit longer, and I'm going to just see how far I can get, even using the techniques that I use now, whilst I'm even talking about it, right? So in theory, we could do it even quicker if I wasn't having to talk, if you weren't having to talk your way through it. Okay, so I'm just going to go and grab, I think it's a CSV file, but I'll need to click out of this. So let's go and find it. Space missions. So it would be fantastic if, looking at a data set, we could get recommendations really quickly around, this is what I think we need to do. Recommendations really quickly about which transformations you should do and you should be aiming for. Maybe like, like a checklist. Okay, check your data for this, check your data for that, check your data for that. Like there should be like 20 steps that you should go through at this point. I think mentally I just go through them just naturally. But this is, for a variety of different individuals, that isn't as intuitive. And so we need to make it more intuitive. Okay. So let's just quickly work our way across here, and let's make our updates. So a lot of this is actually named pretty well as well. So that's good. One thing we do need is we need a date table, obviously. Okay. So the date table is really key. So why don't we just go to it quickly? So we need to create a blank query here. And then we need to grab the date table code. Okay, so here, I'm going to refer to the Analyst Hub a little bit here, but the Analyst Hub is increasingly, like it already has been a tool that I've used a lot, but is increasingly being used more and more and more by the Enterprise DNA community. It's a tool that we've built internally. And so a lot of the things that I'm going to refer to speed up my own development are in here, okay? And so, for example, I need to build a date table and I need some M code to do that. Now, in our community, and you can also save these as private documents, but I know that this is where I can go and very quickly go and find the date table code from Melissa DeCorte, who's one of our Enterprise DNA experts, has got a course on M on our platform. Definitely check that out if you haven't read it already. Melissa is one of the smartest M Power Query users in the world by far. And we have this amazing code that I can just literally copy and paste in here. Type in my parameters. So I think this data goes back quite far, right? So I'm going to go back to 2050, and my end date is going to be the 31st of the 12th, 2021. Okay. So none of this stuff really matters. So I'm not going to type any of it in. I'm just going to go invoke. I'm also going to get rid of a lot of, it's not going to actually let me do that. Interesting. Okay. So let's go a little bit earlier. Oh, I didn't. That's why. Because yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Okay, so let's just get this right. Now, what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to get rid of a whole lot of this information just to reduce the size of this. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of every column post here because a lot of this stuff isn't relevant. But it's so easy for us to just fix it up. So I'm going to remove columns. It's still much quicker to create a date table like this than anything else. So I can get rid of some of these as well. I'm going to go right click, remove columns. And sorry, I will zoom in for you all as well. So hopefully you can see me zooming. Sorry, I haven't done that up until now. So I'm just going to go dates, and then I'm going to go dates query, right? Okay, then I always group these. So you need to make sure that you are just following these best practices as you go, right? Parameter query. As I'm doing this, what would be even quicker is have a template which already has your date table in it, right? Don't start from absolute scratch. You're going to need a date table almost every time. So you should have a a Power BI, like instead of opening up Power BI from its blank, in a totally blank state, go and open up a template with a date table already in there, and then you don't even have to do the process that I just did. Okay, so that's definitely a little tip there for you. Okay, now what else can we do? So just a few other things that we could do, right, is say, for example, we want to maybe extract some of these columns, right? I'm just going to go and duplicate, right? Maybe we want to create a lookup table of our launch sites, okay? Of our launch sites, okay? This is just, I'm just going to do one example here, one example only of how to break out tables into lookup tables. But I'm going to then go remove other columns. Then I'm going to go remove duplicates, okay? And then see, is this, maybe we want to change this, I'm not sure. Maybe we could do this. We could go transform trim, because I saw a space there. And then we will actually have to come back here and do that as well. I'm going to come back in here and go transform trim, just to make sure they all line up. And then, why would you do this? Because maybe you want to get just the first name. Maybe you want to get the first name as a launch site code. Okay, so we could then go to add columns here, and then go column from examples, right? And then I can go launch area code. Okay, then I can start typing in Marshall like that. And then that's going to give me the first name, right? Okay, so it's better to do it here than it is to do that in the actual fact table itself. Okay, so these are just some of the best practices. There is more that you can do here, and you can do them quite quickly. But the reality is that you should be able to get through this really quickly. That's sort of the key, right? So one of the things that I think we should definitely do here though is this. We need to change some of these NAs, right? Because these are all text values. And so we're not going to be able to do anything to these text values unless, hold on, let's see if we can do that. So we're going to get errors, right? We're going to get errors, which is not helpful. Say we wanted to work out, okay, what was the average launch temperature, right? We can't do it at the moment because we have all these NAs. I wonder how we can get around this. So probably what we need to do is here's just a small thing we can do, is probably replace values, right? That's probably what we need to do. We need to turn these into, say, let's just turn it into 0, but we need to, or look, maybe we could just turn it into this, right? We could just turn it into like an average value or something like that. Okay. So let's just do that for now. This is just going to enable us to actually move on, right? It looks like some of the really historic ones didn't have data, but that's okay. That's okay. Just what you decide to do with that is totally up to you. So look through here. Okay, so this looks so good. You can tell that it sort of worked because you see here that the data type's already fixed up. So let's just come back in here and make sure that these are actual values, whole number. So we want to turn this to percent. No, we don't want that. We're going to turn this to whole number. Place current. Cool. Okay, so I think that's enough. That's enough. We're going to move on. Okay, so I'm just going to go close and apply. So definitely, I think where we need to innovate there is we need templates with date tables in them, right? With whatever date table information you need already done. We need a recommendation system or like a checklist system for going through, okay, these are the things you should check for, right? So instead of just sort of feeling your way around, you can, figure out exactly what you need to do a lot quicker, right? Okay, so then all we need to do is this. So again, the model part, it should be, if we want to try and make this as intuitive as possible, that's why I always do my waterfall approach. I'm not going to spend any time on it here because literally all I'm trying to do is my lookup tables up the top here and my fact tables down the bottom. I don't even care what is actually in these right now. I'm more interested in just the sort of look and feel of what my model looks like. Okay, so I can do this part pretty quickly. And that's definitely what you want to aim for as well. If you stick to this methodology, it can happen very, very quickly for you. But this is a simple model, don't get me wrong. Okay, now, next part. So we've done pillar 1, we've done pillar 2, which was data modeling, right? We've zoomed through those in about 10 minutes. The next part, DAX calculations. Okay, how do we speed up our calculations here? Well, first of all, we need to sort of understand, okay, well, what calculations do we actually need, right? What calculations do we actually need? Now, this is where we need to look at the data, and then we need to think, okay, well, what other things? Like, one of the things that sort of stick out to my mind are, and this is where I think a recommendation system could come in handy as well, that we're thinking of developing. But things that come to my mind are, okay, how many flights, how many take missions were there? What was the average temperature? What was the average wind speed? What was the high, the low? What was the average high and low humidities? Same with these, right? There's not really so much like sum we're doing here. We're probably looking at averages, min, max, count. Those are the sort of things that we need to look for, right? Okay. And so what I would do, and this is maybe another thing you could have as a template, is you could have your key measures already set up, so you don't even have to do this step, right? I'm so used to actually going through all of these steps because whenever I do any training, I have to show things step by step. I can't just skip over everything. But these are the sort of things that you could have embedded in a template that can easily be synced up. You can easily just put in the data into that model or into that template already set up, and then you don't have to do a lot of these steps, right? Okay, so to me, I'm going to get rid of these here. Temperature. Just going to fix that up there. Okay, now remember, we want everything to be inside of measures. Okay, we don't want to drag any of these out. We can obviously, we can do this. We can go and grab, all of these numeric fields. These are the ones that we're going to do some sort of analysis on, right? We could very easily go and click this and drag it in, and then it's going to do some sort of calculation for us. It's probably going to do a sum. In this particular case, like what is it actually calculating? So it's doing a sum. So we could do average, we could do min. I mean, this gives you, just by clicking down here, this gives you a fair idea of all of the things that you can do, right? All of the things you can do. But what we want to do is we want to get these as quickly as possible into measures, don't we? Okay, as quickly as possible into a measure. Okay, so the idea is that we're going to sum up all of these different columns. We're going to average up all of these different columns. We're going to average up, we're going to do a min, and we're going to do a max. Now, what we need to create is some additions to the Analyst Hub for this, but I'm going to show you how you can sort of do things pretty quickly already, right? We could, I've got a lot of my code, a lot of my formula patterns already embedded into here, right? Things like I've got my M code, I've got my cumulative total already set up, so I can literally just copy and paste these in. Not all of these, though, are really that relevant, are they? There's averages over time. So this is a really simple measure, simple one as well. The idea is that I want, obviously when I've got more complex formula, I can come in here and I can quickly, go and grab things that are a little bit more complex, right? Once, if I totally understand them and I can implement them quickly. What about these simple calculations though? We want to get them into measures. How can we do that? How can we do that quicker? The reality is that I need to come in here. I need to create new measure like so. I mean, it doesn't take me that long, but can it be quicker? I guess that's all I'm trying to suggest. Like, so I can go average. I'm going to go average here. Average temp. Temperature. Okay, and then I can go average like so, and then I can go temp. Okay, now wouldn't it be great if you could literally type in the column for these simple measures, right? You could literally type in the column name and then get all of these measures automatically created for you and then moved into your report. That is where we want to get to. This is where we want to get to. You can actually do some of this with a tool called Tabular Editor 3. Okay. Now, if I just show you here, I'm going to show you by jumping into our platform. We actually have a course completely on this, and I'm going to show you I want to show you a video which covers this. Okay, so this is our membership portal. We also have a COE portal. But if I jump to our Power BI training, and then I'm going to jump to the Tabular Editor 3 course, this is actually a fantastic way to speed up writing DAX formulas, right? So if I come in here, oh, actually I'm in the wrong one, sorry. So Tabular Editor 3. Okay, so this particular course has been created by Antrish, who's one of our enterprise DNA experts. Phenomenally smart, just crazy smart, knows all, probably one of the, really understands deep down how DAX actually works in a really complex way, and then has shown us how to use Tabular Editor to really understand all of those things, but also to speed up your development, okay? So what you can do here is, so you see it's got quite a few advanced topics, but you'll see here we've got ways that you can script DAX, or you can write DAX really quickly. So creating measures, okay? So if I just click in here, and what you can do is you can actually create measures really quickly inside of Tabular Editor 3, and then they automatically sync up to what's in your model. And just the interface, the UI that you can write them, is that you can literally do them all in one sheet, and then push apply, and then they'll apply all your different measures inside of here. So I'm just going to see if I can actually show what this actually looks like to you. So you see here that it's just a slightly different UI, but you can actually write multiple of these things like one after the other, right? And so you see here, it's just easier, and it's actually, sometimes Power BI has a bit of redundancy, like it just works a bit slower. And so with this, it is much easier to work through and update measures on the side, right? And you can create lots of different things very, very quickly without having to click new measure, so and so and so forth inside of the Power BI experience. And it even gives you a preview of what your data actually looks like. So I'm not going to show this on the particular call per se, like the actual doing the example, but definitely check out this particular content with access to our platform, right? It's just crazy how much speed you can get by being able to create formulas inside of here. And then when you use it like for more complex formulas, like these are the simple formulas we're talking about, more complex ones, you can use it in combination with the Analyst Hub, right? You can come in here and you can, this is a complex correlation type formula, right? You can copy this in, copy it into Tabular Editor, do the changes in there, push accept, and then it pushes it immediately to Power BI desktop. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show there. But in our case, what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly create them here. I mean, copy and paste is still pretty quick, right? But I just want this all done automatically. I want it all done just like that, without even having to think. I just want to say, okay, give me all of the show me formulas for all of the sum, count, min, max, average of a particular column that I insert, and then return all those, and then update my model. And then I can pick and choose which formulas I actually want. I don't want to have to click anything else. So that's sort of the goal. Okay, so we're going to go lift off average thrust. Okay, and then we're going to change this. So the next thing I would do is, obviously we've got to turn this into a measure group. So I'm just going to delete this from my model. And then I don't even have to do anything else anymore, which is great. It just turns it into that. Now, the other thing that we want to do is I'll just quickly create some of these other measures. Like we want to go min, we want to go max, etc. So again, if we could speed this up, that would be great without even having to do any of this stuff. I mean, Tabular Editor just gives you a much easier environment to work in. That is the only recommendation that I can have here at the moment. But what I would like to do is just, as I say, have you be able to put a column into the Analyst Hub and be able to automatically create all these. And I think we're honestly not far away. That's going to be our next sort of project. We've got one big project we're working on at the moment inside the Analyst Hub, which is going to be huge, which I'll mention in just a second, but that is going to be one of the other things. Max like this. And then what we probably also want to do is have like I've spelled temperature wrong, haven't I? It should be temperature. Goodness me, I can't even spell temperature. Yeah. Okay, so then we want min. Well, I'll just go like that actually. And then I'll go another one, and I'll change those other ones. Because the reality with these, right, is that if we can create measure branching is just such an important technique inside of when using DAX. And so if we can create these earlier measures quicker, then we can overlay our patterns really quickly using the Analyst Hub, right? So we have a lot of our patterns here inside of the Analyst Hub. That's going to enable you to create all of your core measures, then all of your sub branched measures, your cumulative total, moving averages, grouping, percent of totals, whole raft of different things, all the different things inside of our DAX patterns course on our inside of our platform. Okay, so then what I need to do is I need to come and change these ones that I've done wrong. So this is max thrust, or min thrust. So just change this to thrust. Okay. And I'll go find this other one. Thrust. Okay, that's enough for now. Right, so obviously we've got now, can't even spell, max temperature. So now we've got the same calculations, right? But it is now inside, this was calculating the sum, right? This is now calculating up the average. Now the other one we should do is we should do total missions, right? There should be another one we do. We'll count rows, really similar one that we have all the time. Total missions, count rows, the missions table. Because I've created so many of these with so many different data sets, it's just the same. I do the same things over and over again, and that's how I sort of understand what we need to, the things that we need to update and change. Okay, or try and optimize. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the year. So I'll grab the year here. See if we can get this as a, yeah. Okay, cool. This is looking good. So the year from the date, the year comes from the date table, which is cool, and I think this is from a visualization point of view going to be really good down here. Okay, now so we've got some of our measures. You know how I create these pretty quickly already. How I then can use these patterns if I really need to. And honestly, in this case, I don't have to use too many of these patterns to be honest. There's definitely there's a ranking pattern that I could do. So for example, maybe I want to go and calculate the total missions by the top ranked 5 missions by, let's say, company. Okay, so let's drag company out of here. So how many companies have we got? Okay, so maybe we want to only have a look at the missions of the top 3. Okay, so I've got total missions here. Maybe we want to SpaceX absolutely dominating like crazy now. Just crazy what's happened with SpaceX. Okay, so then if I want to use this one, this ranking formula technique, I literally, come in here and I can copy it and I can say top company missions, top 3 companies by missions, right? And then all I need to do is go and update these in here. So I've got all, and then I put company by missions, like so. And then I'm going to just change a few things around here. So I'm going to change 3, and I'm going to change this to missions. So even having to do this, wouldn't it be great if you didn't even have to do that, right? Actually, I can't use top N because it's top rank, because it is an actual formula. Top rank, because in this particular case I'm using it as a variable, so top rank 3, right? So this is the same sort of pattern every single time you want to do anything by ranking. This has appeared inside of here, so I'm just going to change this location. Okay, and then if I drag this in, you'll see that now we'll only get the top 3. Like this, right? Okay, so this is how you can use those patterns in a really fast and efficient way, right? And you can do this over and over again, right? It could be top temperature per per vehicle type, all the different things that we might want to show from a ranking point of view. That pattern is already embedded in there and we can just quickly copy it in. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so we've done a bit on the DAX side of things and a few of the things that we're working on, but very quickly we were able to create something like that, and I had to talk my way through it, honestly. So yeah, if I was sort of doing it without having to talk, I could probably do it in about 2 to 3 minutes, right, to get to this point. So pretty quick. Now here is one of the big things that drives me nuts, and I'm sure drives you crazy, is the theming inside of Power BI. Okay, as you know, the set themes for Power BI are pretty horrific. Like, I don't really like any of these at all. None of these colors really work that well in my view. And what happens is that we do inside the Analyst Hub have historically had this great tool for color themes. Everything's set up here so that you can quickly copy and paste color themes into your model, right? So you can come in here, you can go customize your current theme, and then you can actually change quite a lot here. You can change just your normal colors. You can change things within your theme, like your backgrounds, cards, text, so on and so forth, right? Now, it's all good having to do that once, but the thing is that you can't then extract this to be able to use elsewhere. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually found this tool which enables you to create all of that theming and create the JSON file for basically manipulating every single thing inside of Power BI from a visual and design perspective. Absolutely everything. So without having to do it manually in here, what you can do is you can do it in this application and then get that JSON file and then import it and then use it in lots of different models, right? So if you're in an organization, you can use the same JSON file across all of your different reports, so everyone is doing the same thing. Now, the great news I have for you right now is that we are at the moment going to build all of that functionality and more into the Analyst Hub. So not only will you be able to see your create a color theme, but you'll be able to theme up every individual element inside of Power BI. Okay, so you won't have to theoretically change any color, title, border. You can theme everything, absolutely everything. Okay, and I want to show you an example. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually gone and created one already. And just remember, we're building this into the Analyst Hub. This is available. I found some other application. I didn't really like it that much. We're going to build a much better version inside of the Analyst Hub, but I used it for what it has right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to browse for themes. And so I created this theme called the gold theme. Okay. I'm going to push enter and go okay. And you'll see here that it's now themed up everything. Now it's not perfect, I don't think, because I haven't actually created the right colors maybe for contrasting colors for some of these elements. Like I actually should have, I didn't actually change the axes and things like that. So I haven't done it completely, but the idea is that like this needs to be automated more. Like the tables, you should be able to get the exact format that you want. Well, why don't I do it whilst I'm on this call? I'm going to actually show you this tool, but I want to mention that we are actually building one into the Analyst Hub. It's going to have all of this functionality and more. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and it's also, this is actually a German site as well. Okay, what I can also do is I can actually upload the theme. I can upload the theme that I created and then manipulate it from that point. Okay, so I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to go to here. Okay, so now that theme is all uploaded and I can make the adjustments, right? And so you can do this as an organization very, very easily. Now, here are some of the things that I don't like. Okay, so stacked column chart. Okay, so let's go to the stacked column chart. So you can choose what you want to do for these. Now, I can get rid of the legend, so I don't want the legend. Well, maybe I do actually. I'll leave it in there. Legend. And I like everything to be white, right? So let's go to like so. Okay, and we can change lots of things here because we're going to have. I always like to have darker backgrounds. So x-axis. Okay, we'll keep it for now. But what I hate is these titles. Just drive me nuts. And then I want to make this white. Right. Okay. Then y-axis. So you can change all of these things, right? And the great thing is that all of the JSON will be automatically formatted for you. And yeah, I think that's fine. All of the it will be all formatted for you, and you can always upload it if there's something that isn't right. Okay, so I can come in here, and I'm just changing all of these elements, right? Word wrap. Don't want word wrap. Background. So we want to get rid of the background always. Don't want the background. Border. We don't want that. Shadow. Tooltip. Visual header. Color. Okay, I think that's good for now. Now, what I can do once I've made all these updates, right, is I can go download theme, and go download theme, and then I can bring this back into my report here. Okay, hold on a second. Just drag it into the side. Okay, and so when I've done that, I can come in here. And so look, there's a little bit of back and forth, but we can get to what we need eventually. So I just want to see if I can change this. But change the color, that's interesting. Okay, so there's a little bit of things that I need to fix up here, obviously. Like I don't exactly know why I've got some random color like that, but you see there that it changed a lot of the things that I wanted, right? And so to me, it looks like there's a few things that aren't exactly right. So maybe we needed to update the title text, but that's why this particular tool in my opinion isn't perfect. Basically what I want to do, like what is the conceptual thing that I'm trying to do here, is that I don't want to have to update any of this stuff. Like I want to come in here and I want everything to be preset how I always like it, right? And so I don't want to have to do any of this stuff. I want my tables to be completely set up as I intend them to be, right? And so okay, so let's actually do this, right? So let's update the table here. And remember, this is all going to be in the Analyst Hub. This is going to be totally in the Analyst Hub, simple and easy to implement by anyone. Okay, I'm going to go table. Okay, so let's go to the table visual here. Okay, I always want this to be none. I always want my column headers to be white. Background color. I wonder if I put nothing in there. Put nothing. We'll see how we go. I'll go 11 here. I don't want a word wrap. Okay, I want values. I want this to be white, this to be white, this to be, I'll just leave that as so. I don't want a word wrap, so the word wrap always annoys me. I'll keep that as 10. Okay, and then we'll go title. Okay, we don't need a title. Background, will always turn that off. That always annoys me. Okay, so I'm going to download the theme here, and we'll see what we can do. See what this does to our tables automatically now. Okay, so I can come in like so, and now if I bring in my new theme, browser themes, bring in this one. No, okay, so it didn't actually work. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Style none. Interesting. So it looks like there's something in doing this. I'm realizing it's just not as intuitive as I would have hoped. Right? Like there's still too much variation. But hopefully you get my idea. Is that we really want to be able to create these a lot quicker by having the theme completely done. I don't want to have to click on anything. Like that is I guess the thing that I want to adjust. And you can also adjust things like this. You can actually did you know you can actually color the filters pane and make the filters pane look more integrated into your actual report. It's actually quite neat. You can actually change this white as well, by the way. So say for instance we want to go wallpaper. We can actually turn this into sort of like a nice color like this as well. Maybe we want to do like a darker one. No, it's too close. It's too close. Maybe like that. So okay, let's just to round things off. Let's actually try to find some interesting insights here. Okay, so I want to. I'm going to create a chart, and I know I'm going to have to do a little bit of fiddling around, right? But if I spent a bit more time, I could get this all sorted, all aligned, and then ultimately, I want this all to be in the Analyst Hub where you can literally go save, and then it saves it into your documents. Like you literally have the entire JSON code in a file inside of here, and you can create multiples of these very, very quickly. Then you'll be able to say. Click on, you'll be able to click on the theme, and then it will take you directly to the theme editor, and you can edit things around really, really quickly. So that is, 100% where we're going and what we're doing there. Okay, so I'm just going to grab company like so, and then I'll go total missions and turn it into italic. So maybe because there isn't much going on in the beginning here, we can sort of put this out here. Get rid of the background. Okay, so let's just do a few things. Yeah, these are the things that just drive me nuts. I just don't want to do them anymore. I don't want to have to click around here. I want it to all be done for me. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so then I could actually, interestingly enough, like, do we really need a title? We could actually go like this, right? And we could beef up the title here, make this a little bit bigger. Total missions by company, right? That could be a decent header, and then we could have. What we have? We could say we could have our launch site, right? We could have total missions there as well. And we will get rid of the Y. We'll keep the Y, we'll get rid of the X. And then we'll add some data labels, right? So I think from a, like, there must be a way, like, there's a few things that we need to look out for, right? We need to look for when we're creating these themes, and that's just the reality of this theming generators. We need to actually really understand each of these different elements. I wonder if I can do some data labels here as well. I think that would be useful. And maybe I'll do like a light yellow for those. Okay, so we've got different launch sites, and then maybe we could add, we've also got vehicle type as well. Like so, and then maybe we could actually turn that into, and we could do something else down here, I guess. Maybe we could use a ranking pattern for this one. Then what else we can do? Payload type. So this is really just showing the missions, right? But what if we want to payload type? That's probably good enough for now, isn't it? Okay, and then maybe we need, something up the back here. So let's just adjust this a little bit. So look, it's still pretty amazing. Total missions, total space missions from Earth. Okay, we'll make it even bigger, right? Space missions from Earth. A nice logo would be good here, wouldn't it? A nice logo over this side would be nice. We don't need to probably change the time too much, right? I'm just wondering what else. Maybe we could put some metrics up here. How about that? So, things like this, right? We could create something like this. Temperature, max thrust, max temperature. Some metrics like this, maybe. Data labels, I think that's all right. Category. So this would be another one that you wouldn't want to have to. Yeah, you don't want to have to adjust all of these all the time, right? So 14. And then maybe one other one. Total missions. Get the actual total missions up here. Cool. Okay, so this is actually starting to look pretty good. Amazing, always amazing what you can do and how quickly you can do it inside of Power BI, right? Okay, so I think I'm going to round things off there. This to me is a pretty good dashboard. I mean, there's nothing seriously difficult within here, right? But there's some great things that we can do. We can click into different companies and see what they did from a mission perspective, right? And obviously we can change up the edit interactions a little bit better here. So I could click on edit interactions. It looks like something's happened to the. It's interesting, isn't it? Something's happened when you actually click around. Like somehow we've manipulated what these look like as well. So all of these little things we've got to obviously be aware of what we're changing, the elements that we're changing inside of our theme. But once we get that right. There is so many opportunities just to automate so much of that stuff, right? And that's the goal. That is absolutely the goal. What we're trying to achieve with that automation. Okay, so maybe I don't know some other things we could do is maybe this. Let's just have a look. Might add like a line underneath here just to create a differentiation between these grids, right? So I could create a nice little line here. And I'm going to make this white. And so this is just going to be a nice little divider here. And then maybe also if we really wanted to get tricky, we could put it up here too. There's a little divider up here as well. Cool. Okay, so I think this is looking okay. This is looking pretty good. We've developed it within sort of 45 minutes, and I've talked the whole way through. I could have honestly created this in probably about 10 minutes if I didn't have to talk. So plenty of great little things that could be done there, right? So to me, what are the key learnings? What are the key takeaways from your development, automating your development here? Okay, the key takeaways are: one is the 4 key pillars framework: loading and transforming data, data modeling, DAX calculations, reports and visualization. All 4 of those areas are absolutely key to getting right inside of Power BI. Now, how do we automate all of those different parts? Okay, so for pillar 1, loading and transforming data, is we need to understand the data and try and identify, okay, what are the key columns here? What are the tables that we want to create? We want to think about our model. What are going to be lookup tables? What are going to be fact tables? And then what are the key sort of calculation columns that we're going to use? What are the key filtering columns we're going to use inside of our report? We want to get all of the naming conventions done, all of the data types correct, and we want to do that as efficiently as possible. Maybe you could also use templates. Have a template with a date query already embedded into it. Have a template with a key measures table already embedded into it. Okay? So those are some key things to work away there. The model, once you understand how to use the waterfall technique, which I always talk about, lookup tables at the top, fact tables down the bottom, one-to-many relationships, that's it. That's all you got to do. 95% of the time, that is what you want to aim for, no matter how complex your data is, right? You want to aim for something that looks like this. DAX measures, we always start with our core measures, right? And so we're really thinking about, okay, how can we simplify and automate creating these core measures? And we're going to do it inside of the Analyst Hub. So at the moment inside the Analyst Hub, we have a DAX cleanup tool and also like a way to format your formulas, but also to catalog your formulas. But also we want to have a way to, like a DAX automation. I want to create an app called DAX automation where you type in your column and then you get all of the different variations of your core measures with sum, average, min, max, all of these. I want them already done for you straight away, and then you can quickly load them into your model just with like a couple of clicks. That's the idea, and you sort of select what you want. You can also use Tabular Editor to be able to speed up and improve the UI in which you create these, right? Okay, then we have the Analyst Hub can be used to also save all your formulas, right? So if you want to do more complex things like use formula patterns like cumulative totals, moving averages, as I discussed, you can quickly go and copy these, grab them and put them into your model. Okay, easy as that. And the other thing that I would do just from an organization perspective is I always try and organize these as quickly as possible as well. So you'll see here that I can multi-select these, right? I can multi-select these and I can go, I'll call these core measures. Okay, I like to put things in folders, and then the folders I like to create are sort of my branches of measures. Okay, so I've got my core measures there. I would call these my ranking measures, right? Or if I was to do a whole raft of these, then I'd have my cumulative total measures, my moving average measures, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's one thing that I do really quickly all the time. Now, I don't need multiple different measure tables. I can just do things with folders, and it's all organized and very easy to create. Okay, now the last thing is visualizations. Okay, so this still takes way too long, even though it's so much faster than it was historically. The key here is that we get the theming completely sorted for you. Okay, and there is a tool out there that I have used, but I think it can be made so much better, and you can leverage off the community aspect of the Analyst Hub to really speed up all of the key theming parts of your development. Okay, so this is something we are literally working on right now. So it should be released very, very soon, or a version of it will be released very, very soon. And the idea is that within the theming area, you can manipulate everything from a global perspective, but also down to a granular perspective for every single visualization. You can change anything, absolutely anything, and we want to automate all of that. So literally, you should not have to click and change a color or do anything. It will just all automatically happen for you, okay? And the idea is that we don't want you fiddling around with themes forever as well. So how can we make this quicker? Well, we might even have templates inside of here, which says, okay, here is a report that has this theme in it. It's got all of the small little details ironed out for you. You can use this template, make small adjustments, and then you're away. So we're thinking about all those different things. Okay, so plenty of great things that we can do. The other major thing that we are working on at the moment is what we're calling designer kits. So as you know, one of the hardest things with Power BI is actually, building navigation experiences like that look good, building nice backgrounds, building like a grid system for your charts, etc., and your visuals and your story that you want to tell. And so we are also in the background designing a few sort of test versions of designer kits where you can literally just grab these designs and utilize them, and all the navigation will be built for you. All the tabs that, all the ways that you can tell a story will be built for you, and it will literally be just you placing visuals in a particular location. Okay, so that's another thing that we're working on as well. So, okay, so a lot of to be coming soon, I do admit. But hopefully you enjoyed, literally we created something that this probably would have taken me maybe 15 minutes if I didn't have to talk my way through it. And so pretty exciting what you can achieve now, but think about what you can achieve in the very near future with some of these updates that we're coming out with very soon. Okay, I think I'm going to round off there. I really enjoyed working through this one with you. I continue to enjoy just doing sort of freestyle sessions and just coming up with ideas with you on these calls. So hopefully you enjoyed it as well, and really look forward to showcasing all of these great insights from the rest of the summit, and also some follow-up sessions from me. Okay, all the best everyone. Look forward to next time. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Can't wait to talk to you again soon. Okay, see ya.